NGTV, l'objectivité avec nous.
True that in life there's so many things that we do, and in the end of it you think you're sacrificing for the people around you, but in the end they look at you as the devil. That's very right. Good afternoon to everyone that's joining us this afternoon. Your favorite afternoon show, it's in the heart of the city. You might be wondering what's puzzling and what's going on back camera. Don't bother. Today is Monday, and it is the day after the election, that is the post after the twin elections that took place yesterday, the legislative and the municipal elections. I know so many Cameroonians went out and performed their civic responsibility, that is voting for the person that they wanted to be their local authority for 5 years. Even those who do not know who they're going to vote, they still went to vote, because there are so many people who went to vote, they didn't even know the people they were voting for, but they knew the political party they were voting for. Some others just follow the crowd, like everybody is going to vote, so let me just follow. Some others do not go at all, but whatever you did, it was a good thing. Okay, if you went out to perform your civic right as a Cameroonian, it is something good that you did. Good afternoon to all of you. It's always a pleasure. We are just few days to a special event, that is the Valentine's Day, but before that day we have tomorrow, which is a big event in Cameroon, that is the National Youth Day, where all the youths are celebrated. It's a big day for everyone, and youth show their know-how. In the march into the class. Well, we're not marching to the class, we're marching on the field to show that we are disciplined, we are upright, we are strong, and we are strong Cameroonians, and we are the stronghold of the nation of tomorrow. That is it. They say the youthful age, it starts from the age of 0 to 77 years. So even if you're 50, you're still a youth. Don't bother yourself. Up to the age of 77, you're still a youth and you're strong, so you have to go and march like any other person. Marching as far as tomorrow is concerned, in the heart of the city. If you're watching us from the southwest region of the country, good afternoon to all of you. A big bizu to all of you. We don't know how it went out the other yesterday. We don't know how the situation went out yesterday, but we hope you're cool, because we hope things have calmed down for us of now, and we know the lockdown will be finished by Wednesday. So we are sending you plenty of greetings this afternoon, plenty of big kisses to all of you that are watching us in that part of the country, the southwest and the northwest region. I want to congratulate all of those who went out yesterday in that part of the country to perform their civic responsibility. When you look at places and you be like, if I go out, my life is at risk. If I stay in, I'll be in peace. And then, but if I go out, I'm going to lose as far as choosing the person that I want for myself is concerned. But you decided to go out, face this challenge when your life is concerned. I want to say congratulations to you. You have a heart. If it's me, I still doubt, but you have a heart. In the heart of the city, we have so many things kept in store for you this afternoon: the business, the kitchen, as well as the health. But before we get to all the slots of this afternoon, Miss B or Lady B and Ibane Fungwe are here with me. And guess what? They're putting on yellow. I wonder why they choose the yellow this afternoon. I don't even know what the yellow signify, but we will discover as the program starts off. Asenyu sir, please give us a short break, and then we'll come back. We get into the program right away. Welcome back. If you're just tuning on to your TV, you're watching Entry Television and you are in the heart of the city. This is the very first edition for this week. There's so many things that are going on. At one point in time, you feel that, as I said at the start of a program, that you're giving in so much for so many people. You're giving in so much, hoping that you will get something in return. But in the end of it, if you know what you get back, you wouldn't just believe it. Okay, as I said, we'll discover what we have here this afternoon. As I said, the girls are putting on yellow, yellow. I don't know if it's a coincidence or it's a planned act, but they will tell us why it's dressed very beautiful this afternoon. Good afternoon, Miss B.
Thank you so much, Linda.
I hope you're okay this afternoon.
Of course, it's a pleasure for us to be with our televiewers, and of course, for us to have a hitch-free, what's that, elections here in the West region. I know there were some hitches, but again, it was all calm, so we give God glory for that.
We give God all the glory, Miss B. Thank you very much. I admire your choice of yellow this afternoon. I was thinking, is it a coincidence or is it a planned act or?
Normally, it's Monday. Somebody has to be with our lovely televiewers there, so I just have to reflect how you reflect this afternoon.
You're very bright. You're like the sunshine. Exactly.
That you just have to reflect, the televiewers this afternoon by coming so wow shots.
Thank you very much, Miss B. Ebane. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Suntia.
Thank you. Hope you went and performed your civil right as a Cameroonian.
Definitely, I am a Cameroonian, proud to be, and I would have brought my voters card.
No, you know what I wanted to ask you was, who did you vote for?
No, I won't disclose that. There's no way I'm disclosing that. We'll know at the end of the maybe in 2 weeks' time.
After the elections, you're gonna tell us who you voted for so that we know.
No, I won't tell you. Even at that, even when the results will be out, I won't still tell you who I voted for. But I want to believe that whosoever is going to win the elections definitely is the people's choice. Good afternoon to you, Miss B.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, girls. Tomorrow is the 11th of February. That is the 43rd edition, if I'm not wrong, Miss B. The 54th. Okay, I'm confusing with the bilingualism. With the bilingualism, that is true. The 54th edition of the National Youth Day. And this night, today evening, the President of the Republic, the first youth of the country, is supposed to address the nation. You, as a youth, I said a first youth, and Ebane is like, what's your expectation from the head of state's address to the nation this today at 8 p.m.?
Well, I just want to believe everyone will be expecting what I'm expecting to hear.
Of course.
A call.
Yeah.
Just a call for every youth to be patriotic in upholding the national flag of the country. How? As far as promoting the virtues of peace and coexistence is concerned. And number two, as far as growing up or being responsible in conduct, in performances, and many more, or nation building is concerned, I expect him to draw the attention of the youth to that angle, and I expect him to also assure the youth to take their book work serious and give them a hope that tomorrow brighter days are ahead, and so they shouldn't lose hope on the fact that after schooling there will be there will be something for every youth to partake in the national cake, except those who have decided not to use their God-given talents and then blend it with what the state has to offer. And I expect him to call the youths to get back to our culture. What's that culture? As Cameroonians, we do not solely rely on the government. We rely on the land that God has created, the soil, natural, resources before
the government came and in many other things
to be added onto it. And so we just expect him to understand. Yeah, when we talk about assuring the youths as far as being a part of the national cake is concerned, lots of people may be expecting to hear you're going to employ this number of, even if he doesn't say that, if you have two hands every body part intact get employed while waiting for the state to add to that. I think that's all I can say.
Thank you very much, Ms. B. You go in line with the question of today. Are the youths not losing their bearings, losing their way? That means we notice that youths are getting themselves involved in so many things that are just away from the way they've been brought up. We have drug that is winning so many youths. The youths not losing their bearings? Although we have some that are exception. And what do we do to make them come back to the right way? That's the question we are talking about this afternoon. We are talking about the youth and way for them to come back to their bearings. Since they're losing it, you're going to find a way for them to come back to it. Ebane, what's your own expectation as far as the message of the head of state to the youth is concerned?
Definitely, Suntia, all of us have expectations, and one of those that I really, really hope and pray that the president will address this evening is going to be the violence in the educational sector. I'm talking about the recent unpleasant situations that we witnessed in our schools recently. I believe that educational sector is one of those sectors in a country that is very, very delicate. If not properly handled, it might lead to the destruction not just of a generation but several generations to come, such that we know that education is primordial in every sector in life. Everything that you have to do, education counts. You don't just get up to become whoever you want to become, but you have to first of all get educated, understand concepts, and be able to push it back into the society. And so I think that one of those things that should really occupy the mind of the president at this time is how to restore the situation in schools, ensuring that violence is curbed, ensuring that drug consumption in our school institutions or in learning institutions is completely wiped out. And I'm expecting that whatever solution that he brings for this situation should really be taken highly into consideration and, of course, implemented squarely such that in the next years to come, we don't experience what we are experiencing now.
We are all positive at that because just at the start of the second term, we experienced a lot of violence, be it on the teachers and the students themselves, in such a way that some people couldn't just take it. So many of them lose their life in the course of this. So we are hoping that this situation find a way forward as the president of the republic, father of the nation, addresses the nation this evening in the heart of the city. If you're just tuning on to NGTV, you are watching NG Television, of course, and you are in the heart of the city. This is the very first edition for the week. Are the youths not losing their bearings? And what is the way forward? What is the way forward? We've enumerated a number of things that they're expecting the head of state to do for the youth as far as his address to the nation this evening is concerned. But as for you, what is the way forward? Miss B, you just spoke in line with the question of today. So what is the way forward to ensure that the youth don't lose the way? Because there's a way that they have to follow, but they are going away from that way. What do you think, you as a Cameroonian, one, as a parent too, what do you think should be done to help with the situation?
Anyway, just to contribute there, that first, I will not throw the blame all on the youths. As far as being self-employed is concerned, or as far as being conscious is concerned, if we're talking about the way forward, in as much as parents do ensure, taught to endeavor that children go to school and be something tomorrow, the nation has a role to play to ensure that these children have something doing
At the end of the
after
education.
the graduation. Okay, but now, even before we wait on the state, we don't want to go back to the old days. The days are evolving, or the world is evolving, things are changing. Population is also increasing.
Increasing, that's true.
And so
We
the
are at
population
7
density
million.
in those days is not the same.
Yeah, it's
Before I
true.
was born, Cameroon was somehow around maybe 5 million and some more.
Now we are
You
at
don't
billion.
expect the government to pay every youth like before. It depends, you understand? Okay, if you're a youth, you're into school, the way forward, what do you do to accompany your education? I know of somebody who does bike riding. In fact, the person transporting me every day, he's doing bike riding. That's not all about him. In the evenings, what he makes from the bike riding, that's what sends him to school. He's furthering his education.
That's very
He has
important.
plans to go study abroad. He has plans to follow his pastoral issues and so on. But what is he doing? He's doing bike riding. He's sponsoring himself in school. And even his younger ones. That's an example. You can as well do farming. You sponsor yourself. Help your mother in the farm. You sponsor yourself. Okay, now, you realize that if you nurture or you grow with that mentality, that must be, inculcated from home. You understand? Before the child gets to the university to the stage of accusing or waiting for the government, you see that, no. Before you know it, the child is into, what's that? Maybe weaving.
Yeah, weaving. The needlework that,
and then producing something, paying fees at the level of the university. If you can't do that, you do like the guy who graduated last year from the university or from the sales of what Kwakoko Bible. He sponsored himself. You must be involved into something, and you wait the government. The way forward is one. You, first of all, get yourself self-employed.
Self-employed.
Before looking up to the government. And for you to get yourself self-employed, I tell you what, before I even continue, we look at countries around us. I don't want to mention names, but we know of Nigeria and so on. What is making these people to advance? It's not the civil service. It is the entrepreneurial world.
Yeah, we know that in Nigeria there are a lot of business people.
And so it's not all about waiting for the government to. No. It's self-employment. The fact that lots of them are self-employed. I tell you what, I'll give you an example. I entered the bakery recently to get bread. I had 500 francs. She both told me, no, it was mineral water. Yes, mineral water. 500 francs. Mineral water is 350. I needed just 150 for change. She told me she does not, in a pala, no money. But if I can go out, I change it and come out. I said, okay, I am coming. So you're expecting me to go out, change the money, come back? No, I head to another store. If the store does not have change, I go to another. And Nigerians will not leave 50 francs for, 10 francs for, 25 francs for, even 5 francs. He will pursue that 5 francs. How? He will go helter-skelter to look for change to give it. That's how the shop increase. But when you start minimizing 150, 10 francs, how do you grow? You understand? And so that's the secret. A Nigerian can even go down on his knees to beg you enter his store, buy something, and so on. And we Cameroonians, because in your money, you see they help your neighbor. Tomorrow your neighbor will help you with money, and that's how the money will circulate. Permit me calling money was. That's how coins will circulate. But you keep it there, waiting to use it on your own. It will get finished. You will need it someday. It's for us to think. One, use your brain. You start fighting, joblessness, poverty, whatsoever, or juvenile delinquency, and so on, from the mind. And so when you eradicate here, you will get employed because you are thinking, the brain is active. Even God alone says in His word, I need you to have something in hand for me to add there for you to grow. And so there is something you have to over. You expect the state to come meet you in your home and give you employment. No, start up something. That's the way forward. And you start by eradicating joblessness, laziness, whatsoever. Call them names from the mind. Get self-employed while waiting for the government to add there. And I believe if every parent has to start training the child from business. Some of us grew, maybe while in the school campus, we were selling cakes.
Selling other things.
We were hustling. In the markets we were carrying was that, thank God I have to do jollof rice today on my head. Our market sister in Britain will hold a jug of water. Where is she today? Where am I today? Get involved. If you feel that the bikes is for the those who have not seen the forwards of education, you lose it. If you feel that, what's that? Roast
plantain and
it's
corn.
For those who have not seen the forwards, you miss it. Everybody can do whatsoever to survive.
Thank you very much, Miss B. It makes me remember when I was in the University of Buya. When I returned from school in the evening, I used to go grill fish with my aunts. We roast at the former Jupiter. I don't know whether it still exists. It's still the same place. We do the grilling. Sometimes we have to stay up till the next day.
I did that with my elder sister.
We stay the next day to the morning, or we go back very late at 10 or 11 o'clock. So you should not feel that because I'm in the university, I have to just call my parents and they send me money.
No, I have to graduate, they still employ me.
So that is it. Thank you very much, Miss B, for that very important point that we should be self-employed. We should encourage ourselves to do something. Some people lazy around just expecting people to give them, and some girls too just expect from boys say, since I have so many
Excuse me,
boys.
please. There are boys too we expect from girls. It's not all the girls. Are you there? There are boys too we expect. I know an expert who is, not just a local, digger, gold digger. It's a local gold. It's a male, a local, national, and international gold digger who digs from women, and he's never he calls himself a pa. Let me close my mouth.
Okay, those who expect, because when you're lazy around, you don't do anything, you obviously expect somebody to give you. Be it that you as a girl, you take from a boy, or the boy takes from a girl. You should be very careful. So, Ibane, we know that so many youths are losing their bearings. They're losing the way you talked of drug abuse, you talk of violence in the educational milieu. For you, what is the way forward?
Suntia, I think that some parents have gone on retirement. Okay. Some parents have decided from parenting.
Okay.
They have decided to go on retirement from parenting because with the world, so many people are thinking that with the advancement in technology and all of that, there are homes that children or young ones do not even have time to express what they think, what they are going through at a particular point in time to their parents. I remember back then, when some of us never even had phones, you don't have an option but to chat with your mother in the evening. Okay, you don't have a phone to occupy you. You don't have the social media where you can have fake information and foreign things that run throughout
you only had
those
one
platforms.
TV channel to watch.
You have only one TV channel to watch, and once Papa is there, you are bound to watch the news and no other thing. Okay, so you never really had a choice but to get to talk to your parents, and sometimes you might not even have the intention of telling them what is happening to you, but you discover that you get to tell them with the questions. Maybe in the course of a discussion, they see that you are directed to something and they ask you questions pertaining to that, and you answer, and you see how solutions are being proposed and how life goes on very much easily. So most of our parents today have decided to go on retirement, and that's one of those things that account to the violence that we find in school. Parents no longer have time to, everybody is chasing money, everybody is chasing the social media, everybody is looking at the way to look better or to live a better life, and yet so many people are not thinking about what future holds for these children. Somebody is going to tell me like, okay, you educate your children and that is the end of it. It doesn't just end at the level of the school. The teacher in the class has very little work when it has to do with education. Education itself is basically from home. You have to educate the children from home, ensuring that those values that we had, or those you had, or the values that were inculcated in you by your parents, you should be able to pass them over to your children. Most of the time today, people will blame. I've seen platforms and so many social media comments, people saying that the teachers have decided not to do their work, they no longer discipline the children, they no longer do whatsoever. But we need to stop blaming the teachers, because they are just there as facilitators. They have limited work when it comes to your child. They have very limited work they can carry out. The main thing is for you to be able to educate your children back home, give them the time that they need, talk with them, analyze whatever they are going through, and propose solutions. Of course, bring up solutions for them to have a better tomorrow. We are talking about violence in schools. We are talking about drug abuse. Now, it is but normal that today people have just decided to make use of the advancement in technology in a negative way. I've not been able to comprehend how your child whom you gave birth to is consuming drugs in your home, yet you are unable to tell that that child's attitude has changed, because these are some of the things that once a child starts indulging in, their attitude change, and so many strange habits must come up. And as an observant parent,
the society has changed. You go out in the morning as a mother and you come back only.
And that is the reason I say that we are just people are chasing after money, people are chasing after good life, people are chasing after so many things that they have forgotten the basic parenting rules, that you must be there for your children. You must observe those changes and ask why those changes. You must be a vigilant parent, okay? It's true that so many people will be like, there's no book in parenting. Obviously, there's no book in parenting, but you can parent by just being observant. Giving your child a listening ear and being there for them is one of the best ways that you can possibly parent a child.
Thank you very much, Ibane. Thanks, Miss B, for that wonderful contribution. Ibane is saying that parents have abandoned their responsibility as far as parenting is concerned. Reason why the youth are losing their parents. Why Miss B says after a school, you need to encourage yourself to be self-employed. All of that boys together to say that we the youths, we have made it such a way that if you're not into the civil service, you wouldn't do any other thing. You will just sit back. Even when you're on Saturday, when your mom says you should go to the farm, you will say you're not going to the farm. You
because you're a graduate.
You're a graduate. You're not supposed to be doing farm work. We should encourage yourself to do all those things. You know, when you were growing up, our parents want to take us to the farm during the weekend. We refuse that. We have classes. Some people have to frame up classes even at the primary level because they don't want to go to the farm.
You know, Sontia, that brings me to this change of mentality, almost what Miss B just talked about. If we can change our mentality, the way of thinking, so many things are going to change. Imagine like the situation you just painted, someone refusing to go to the farm because he or she thinks that he or she is a graduate, and then you will start blaming others for your misfortune. If we can take up our responsibilities, and live with it, you know, learn to correct, or you better correct, or you live with the consequences of each and every act of yours. The society is going to change a big deal, because from your ideology, you know that, okay, if I'm, no matter how educated I am, if I am jobless and I have the possibility of digging the soil to make a living out of it, and yet I stay back home, you should be able to blame yourself, not putting your blame on the state or the government that wasn't able to provide you something. Do you know that you can actually have the aid of the state by going to that soil? If you start digging, you have very good products. You make a difference in the agricultural world. Definitely, not just the government is going to support you. You're going to have so many organizations that will come your way to support your initiative. So it is just important that we change our mindsets, change your mentality, the way you're thinking. You're going to make it big.
Thank you very much, girls. Thanks for that wonderful contribution, and we hope that all those who are watching us this afternoon have been able to get the message. Today is a public holiday, and so many people are back home this afternoon, and we hope you're tuned on to NGTV to get the most important thing as far as youth is concerned, not about getting them, about educating them from the base to where they have to go to in the heart of the city. Time for us to go to the business of this afternoon. I guess this afternoon we'll talk about the cultivation of cassava. You know, it's something that is mostly cultivated in most part of the country. Why not Ibane gives us some insight as far as cassava cultivation is concerned?
Exactly. Cameroon is one country that is blessed a lot, and one of those things that makes it blessed is cassava. Cassava is cultivated in almost every part of the country. Almost every part of the country. There are some areas that may produce it even more, but in almost every part of the country we have cassava. And one good thing about this is that cassava itself, like we often say here, has so many end products. You make water fufu out of it, you make gari, you make so many stuff, so many food stuff that you can do with this thing, and it's very, very easy to cultivate. So yeah, very, very easy. What are cassava seedlings? Just the stems are the cassava seedlings, and some people might make beds, ridges like you have it there, the long ones. Yet some people just decide to make those very small ridges. Make the very small ones. You just dig and make a small ridge, and then you cut the stem of cassava. Be very careful the way you plant it. It has, you know, the direction of the shoot has to be that which looks up. Yeah, that's why each time that you want to plant cassava, there's need for you to check the stem that you have in hand, the direction of this the shooting. Okay, the direction of the shooting has to look some out of the soil. So you take it and put it right deep in there, and before you know it, it's already growing. Cassava doesn't have so much work. After 1 year, most of them.
I can see there.
Of course, this is a tractor that has to till the soil for planting of cassava, and this is the big scale planting. This is when you have to do cassava
like
and more exactly. You just have to dig. The essential thing is at this point when you're doing cassava, like you find it there, is for you to soften the soil. You have to first of all soften the soil so that you can easily get the stem into the soil. And sometimes you don't even need ridges like we find it there, but it is, you just have to maintain some level of when for those who do this great oil big scale cultivation, you simply need to ensure the lines are very orderly and the spacing is just exactly like each and every one. So you have to be very, very practical for when it has to do with a big scale production of cassava. Now, like I was saying, you have to get the stems into the soil, you leave it there, and after some time you have to weed. Okay, don't forget there's need for you to weed, like you find it right there on the screen. So yeah, this is when the cassava stems must have germinated or must have already had this level. You've got to always clean your farm. It's very, very important. Clean your farm. And for those who make ridges, sometimes when you have to plant with other crops, because cassava goes with other crops, you can sometimes add soil to it. You can sometimes add soil to
Add
it.
soil, and when adding the soil, you add two for the cassava.
You add two for the cassava. You add two for the cassava. That is it. And so you leave it. Cassava gets ready after 1 year. That is really ready. If you want to consider it like it is really ready, you go in for 1 year. And then you can take your cassava to the market. It is not that expensive, though there are sometimes it's pretty expensive. However, it all depends.
Okay, today we're talking about the cultivation of cassava. I guess we'll talk about the sales tomorrow. It means the seedlings can be bought in the market.
Obviously, they can be bought in the market, and as well as if you already have a farm, your cassava farm, when you're harvesting the cassava, you obtain the seeds from there
Okay,
as
you
well.
just break the stems.
Exactly, you simply break the stems, and then just be very careful. If you have to turn it the other way, I don't know if you're expecting that the cassava is going to shoot looking down, but you have to be careful that the shootings look upward, such that you don't get it confused.
Okay, you have to do it as well, so that the shooting looks
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibane. That is the business of today. We're talking about the cultivation of cassava. If you intend to get into cassava cultivation, why not start with this? Go get the seedlings, get yourself a portion of land, and then you can go beg. Okay, if you don't have money to buy, you go and beg your neighbor. The neighbor, please don't go and steal like the pepper.
You know, so sometimes if back then in our villages, you don't even need to, you don't need to buy cassava seedlings, because you might just get into a neighbor's farm. He or she must have already cut the stems. You simply have them cut.
Is that not stealing?
That's cleaning the farm for the person. It is called cleaning. That's community. In our community generally, in those days, not talking about the situation that we find down there now, you hardly have hear people stealing. Okay, some people will just harvest, some will harvest, and they cut the quantity they need. Where the rest that they leave, you can always just get there. You do the cutting as well. You are even helping the person to clean up the farm.
Okay, thank you very much, Ebane. Miss B, as far as cultivation of cassava is concerned, is there another thing we've left out as far as this is concerned?
Just to add there that talking about cultivation of cassava, and we are still on the youths and into farming and many more that will promote nation building and many more, even self-development and so on. If you feel that you have acquired so much, or maybe the state has not done enough to support you, our parents were doing. Okay, like we were saying, okay, if your parents were into peasant farming, you can decide to go doing what's the or carrying out mechanized agriculture.
Okay, it does that. If you have a big
Believe it,
farm.
yeah. Anything, it depends on how get what you have acquired and apply to whatever you do. You see yourself excelling. If I'm a farmer, it's high time we stop doing what's that. You use a hoe and a cutlass, you plant one stem of cassava here, you get to that meter there, 2 meters about. You just go. It's difficult to acquire a machine to do this for you, but if you work hard, you see that you have a plan on what you're doing, you have a target, you have a goal to achieve or an objective to attain. You will see that you will work in line with that objective, raise some money, go for mechanized, farming. Before you know it, you become an industry. You can decide to be, to what's that, to develop a cassava plantation. Before you know it, you will instead tell the government, please, I don't think I will want to be a civil servant. I don't think I will want. You realize that you're excited. And before you know it, the nation booms. Everything will just be so jacked. The nation will grow. What's that? Self-employment pays, business pays. Everything you do at your own corner, you make yourself a master of it. Before you know it, you have the best of the nation. And before you know it, you will gain employment even in a shop, just to for sales or what. And there are 10 shops, 20 shops, 1,000 shops, youths are employed. It takes one person to decide to make a change. Before you know it, we all are enjoying the nation we are crying for.
Thank you very much.
To move forward.
It's a matter of organization. You put up yourself and say you want to attain a target, and you work so hard for you to attain that target, which is I'm working cassava. I'm not going to work cassava with the hole at the collars like my parents used to do. Now I want to use the machine to be able to work it in the heart of the city. Thank you very much, Ibane. We hope you will tell us how they think that Gary has been sold, and we will sure talk about the transformation of cassava, and then how we can possibly conserve it, keep it,
Exactly.
so it doesn't get bad. Thank you very much, Ibane. In the heart of the city, if you're just tuning on to NGTV, we're talking about the business of today, and we're talking of ways in which you can cultivate cassava before it gets to the market. Straight away, we will want to take the kitchen of this afternoon. Miss B has decided to do for us rice today. Today is rice, a special specialty. If let me just put it that way. I don't know, special specialty. Let me just put it that way. It's a special specialty of rice. So you're doing for us coconut rice this afternoon. You know, the other day I was at Aqua and I bought coconut for 150 francs. That was strong.
The size, what size?
Was like this.
Okay, it's not bad. 150 francs. That size that size is okay. If you, it depends on the number of persons in the home.
Okay.
Yeah, if you 5 of you, will need 2, 3.
Okay, 2 or 3.
Then
if you know we are an African society where
450 can do.
450. Okay, for 5 people in the family.
Even 6, 450. That's 3 coconuts can do.
Okay.
But just to say that we open up a series on how to do rice, that's jollof rice in forms. The countryside jollof rice, was a traditional jollof rice.
Red oil.
We'll do it.
Okay.
We'll do the fried rice, we'll do the coconut rice, we will do the green rice or the colored rice. We'll discover jams of rice this week. What a jollof rice.
I'm very eager to discover all of
The
that.
first one we'll deal with today, we go to coconut rice. It's a special one. Lots of people wonder how to do it.
Yeah.
And when you do it well, you enjoy it. And tomorrow maybe we'll do color rice. I don't know, countryside jollof rice, we will do it. Or fried rice. And lots of people don't know how to do fried rice. Very complicated if you don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Okay, the system we go do the coconut rice today, you have to just master it. We go parboil the rice. Yeah,
Okay, which rice do we use?
now it depends, but I'll prefer you go for those very,
Perfumed rice?
expensive rice.
Okay, the perfumed rice.
Okay, if you want, if you was that your hands cannot get any rice can go.
You take the other one that is sold in bags for 500,
No
450.
problem. Anyone can go. It's how you cook it and the final, a product that matters. Good. And so it's not the jam of rice. You will need coconut there. You will need to break this off. This you can as well consume the water or you keep it to use it. When you crack that up, thank you so much. That's how we go decorate it today. Yeah. And so when you crack it off, you will need to grate the coconut. When you grate the coconut, you will need to squeeze the juice. When you obtain the juice, keep it aside. Now, some people may want to use the greens or the chaps of the coconut. It depends.
The chaps, the one you grate.
But today we will not use it. We'll use just the water. And so we'll take these coconuts after cracking them off the shells. We wash well. We grate with the grater we just saw there. And then some people will boil both with or they braid it coconut. You sieve well
Okay.
with a colander. Those very tiny colanders with very tiny holes. When you sieve, you squeeze the remains of
The chaos of
the
coconut.
chaffs of the coconut, and then you keep the water aside. You get your rice. You don't wash the rice. You put it inside small quantity of water. Drop a pinch of salt. Boil, just boil for about 5 seconds, not 5 minutes.
5 seconds. What if it's on the three-stone fire side? You know the fire is
Low heat.
yes, it's low.
5 seconds. When you do that, you remove the rice. You wash well now with what's that, fresh water. When you wash well now, you put in the colander to drain. Drain all the water. Now you get all the spices we had before this process, or this particular image we saw, a combination of spices there. You will need all of them, enough onions, garlic, ginger, green, or what's that, leeks in general, carrots, green beans, all that good. Okay, now what we will do, you will fry these green beans and the carrots separately with a pinch of salt and Maggi to keep it green and tasty. You keep it aside, and then you fry now every other spice, tomatoes, everything together. When it's cooked, you get the parboiled rice, pour into it. You stir for about 5 seconds. This is not fried rice, please. So we'll just stir for about 5 seconds. When we stir, we'll put now water just slightly above the rice, the level of the rice. I say slightly above the level of the rice. You
Me
put,
pass the rice small.
thank you. Just, and then you cook now on low heat.
Okay,
Why?
low heat.
Because you had already parboiled the rice. You cook on low heat. You're cooking, you're monitoring the state. But for some people, to advise you not to fall into the temptation of wanting to add water there, you can still put much water to taste. You cut it into two, you keep half of it, and then you put now the one that would just be slightly above the level of rice you're preparing. When you do that now, you're monitoring on low heat. When you realize that the greens are not soft, you can go from your bank where you reset some water. You add just a pinch and so on.
Okay, you use just warm water.
Warm water from what you removed now, just a bit. So should in case if you know you have a measurement therapy in your fingers and so on, your eyes, you can just peep and not the quantity of water, like my grandma always go, and I will do sometimes. I'll peep and I'll not the I'll just identify the measurement therapy and put just that exact quantity of water. And so once the greens are all cooked, now get your boiled meat and well sliced, not so very tiny pieces. Yeah.
Miss B, they do jollof rice with the small meat. It's not very
It shouldn't
tiny.
be an insult like the grain of a corn. When it's like the grain of a corn, it's a problem. If you don't want to go with rice, you go with chicken like we have there. And so now you get your carrot, green beans that you keep aside. When the rice is ready, put the pot down.
Before
you
you
have
put
to
the
put
greens.
in the flags. If you have to put it there, you put layers after layers.
You put
pour a little
green.
bit of carrot and green beans. You mix. I tell you what, the end product will be exactly the image you have in front of your screen, and you get your fried chicken. You decorate it on top of the jollof rice or the coconut rice. Or if you already have meat sliced into it, fine. You want to add chicken, fine. That's how we're going to do it today, coconut rice. Tomorrow, I guess we will do fried white rice, just with spices, or countryside jollof rice.
Thank you very much, Miss B. Today we're talking about coconut rice. It's a delicacy, but it's rather very complicated to cook. As Miss B made mention that most people do not know how to cook the jollof rice. That's right. They do not know how to cook jollof rice. It's a process that you need to learn how to do it, and we're teaching you here how to do excellent jollof rice for your family, be it coconut jollof rice or the traditional jollof rice or the palm oil jollof rice, whatever jollof rice you want to learn to cook.
There's a jollof there.
All is that there is a jollof love rice there. Tomorrow we continue and we talk about another way of cooking, another particular type of rice in the heart of the city. If you're just joining us, you're watching NG Television. We are situated in the enclave agricultural landscape of Bafusam. We are in the west region of the country, and we are greeting all of you that are watching us in the north. I learned that we have a lot of fan clubs that are a fan of NGTV in the northern part of the country. Reason for us to say good afternoon to all of you, and we hope you're very sound. This afternoon, as far as the health is concerned, we wouldn't need any images. For today, we are talking about stomach ache, and we have so many things that causes a stomach ache. We have a number of things that can bring about a stomach ache. The first thing is indigestion after eating. You know, you might eat something and you feel that your stomach is not very good inside. That is it, indigestion after eating. Or you eat something that's not very good for you, or you eat something that your body does not want. That is when you will suffer from it. Some people do have stomach ache in pregnancy. When you are pregnant and you have stomach ache, you have situations like that. You equally have gas. When you have a lot of gas accumulated in you, you will suffer from stomach ache. We equally have appendicitis. Those who suffer from appendicitis most of the times suffer from stomach ache. We have ulcer. That is ulcers that we have. People have ulcers in them, and one of the ulcers is gastritis. A gastric ulcer causes stomach ache as well. So if you have, what we will do is today we'll give you the causes. Tomorrow we'll tell you how its manifestation, and then we will tell you the home remedies for it in the course of the week. But these are some of the things that brings about stomach ache, and the most frequent that we know is indigestion after eating. When you eat beans that is poorly cooked, ndole, vegetable. Is there something I've forgotten? I don't think so. These are, these are delicacies. When it is poorly cooked, you have stomach ache. But I heard somebody say tomato. He ate tomato sauce and developed running stomach.
The tomatoes were either rotten, and the pepper that was used was not washed, and they were also rotting with maggots inside. I'm sorry to say, sometimes we just because it's tomatoes, and now people, there's some people, especially
And it was not
those
well
who
cooked.
do makeshift restaurants by the roadside, you just because you need to make money, you forget about the belly of the people. You just mix everything. Tomatoes really soft, as in soft. Some are even, harboring maggots. You mix everything with unwashed pepper. You mix everything, unwashed carrots and leeks. How will you know?
It's big. You're making some people to lose appetite.
Of course, there are people who think that is not correct. The next thing after eating.
Yeah, that's true. You know, most of these tomatoes that we find along the streets, you see maggots that are walking in out of them.
It's
but
cheaper.
People still buy.
It's cheaper, and they still won't taste it.
I think that if you buy the type of tomato, you have to go to the hospital to spend more money that you don't want to spend to buy the good tomatoes for yourself. So that's causes of stomach ache. We have a number of them, but those other ones are being treated in the hospital. It's not at the home remedy level. So tomorrow we will talk about its manifestation, as I said, and then after we talk about the home remedy, what you can do if you're suffering from stomach ache. But as of now, if you're suffering from stomach ache, the first thing you should do is drink a lot of water. Drink as much water as you can, and it is on that we end this program this afternoon. But before we go, we have subsequent programs for you, Miss B.
Of course, today is Monday. We will definitely have right after this
Plagiary,
Masambutuku and Son, Masambutuku and Son, and Kaide Spawn, 7:30, the bilingual newscast, and a rebroadcast of In the Heart of the City at 11 p.m.
Thank you, Miss B, for having been part and parcel of this program this Monday.
Oh,
You know, yesterday you had a tedious day, and today you had a sad one because of one thing or the other. But the only thing we want to say is that God is still on the throne. You know, I love saying that because you always love saying it too. It has been a pleasure. Ibane, it was a pleasure being with you. So what's the message we give to the youths this afternoon before we go?
Of course, as youths, we should always be self-conscious, okay? Just remember that the future is yours. If you want to fix it, you can fix it. And if you want to destroy it, you can destroy it. So you just have to envisage the beautiful future that you want for yourself, and then you work for it.
Thank you. Just envisage what you want for yourself. Just plan for yourself what you want for the future. Not only hoping that the government will be the one to give you whatever you want. You can work for yourself. Be an entrepreneur and learn to do anything that you can do with your own hands to be able to make out life tomorrow. I guess the richest people in the country or in the world that we have today do not work for the government. They work for themselves. Why not put up the challenge and make yourself that Dangote of tomorrow of Cameroon that you will know like that guy. I know him. He used to carry a tray on his hair and walk around the market. And so it has been a pleasure being with you, dear televiewers. Sure, we will be with you tomorrow for the Youth Day. We are wishing at that. In fact, we have to wish a happy Youth Day to everybody that will be celebrating tomorrow. And please, a happy Youth Day to those who will not match, because generally at the primary school when you don't match, you have to cry. Bye bye.